Hey Leute, willkommen zurück zu Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikan's autopsy?
Ja, das stimmt
That's
auch.
right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
If the time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yup. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then, but regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time too?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Suicide?
The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is.
Ja, dann müssten wir für Ibuki voten.
Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that means there's no Blacken to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Why me?
Nagito? What do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
Das habe ich mir auch schon gedacht. Das hätte sogar auch sein
That's
können.
totally impossible! Then she never would have killed her to begin with!
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive!
Und außerdem war ja Ding. Ibuki hat sich ja selber erhangen. Und dann hätte ja das Ding gesagt. Also Hyoko
When
hätte ja
Hajime
dann,
first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, that's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
She hanged herself! Remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that!
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging.
ja.
Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. So that means there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
Huh?
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Nice.
Forced? Perhaps they used hypnotism or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually live?
What time did Hajime see that video?
I saw it at the hospital, right before Monokuma's morning announcement. And I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement. So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence!
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
Yeah.
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
Okay, warte. The murder supposedly happened before and during the morning announcement. The person who doesn't have an alibi for that time. Ugh.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Mikan's account, Sonia's account. It's on Sonia's account. Right up until Mikan was at Hajime the whole time. Afterwards, she went to the hospital to check on everyone and realized that Ibuki has disappeared. Okay, this is your account. And Sonia's account, Hiyoko was because her kimono was this health and she was unable to tie it on her own. That's when Sonia appeared, told her about the full length. Oh god, Teresa.
Right before the morning announcement.
Warte, vor Hiko's account. Met Mika in front of the hospital. They split up a search for it. They checked the movie theater in Electric Avenue, but it didn't find anyone apparently. Kusuicho hat kein Ding.
I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
Murder supposedly happened before and during the morning announcement. The person doesn't have an alibi for that time.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the...
Ja, was habe ich denn für eins, was
The
das
others.
Ding...
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then
Ach, warte.
Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed!
Warte, was steht nochmal in dem Fujihiko-Ding drin?
We can exclude...
Warte. Steht da irgendwas drin, dass er in seinem Account, dass der Ding war?
the sick people like me
And what about the...
Right before them, I was totally sleeping.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel...
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
We're sleeping in our cottages, right? But that's not an alibi since there's no one here to back it up, right? Yachime, can you do something about that? I'm counting on you to provide better cover fire.
Crap! We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping.
Okay, ich bin irgendwie der Meinung, dass Soda, Kusuhicho kein Ding hat. Also er hatte eigentlich keins. Aber wie kann ich das denn halt beweisen? Wie kann ich das beweisen? Das ist halt jetzt meine große Frage. Oh, wir haben ja noch nur Sanias Account, dass sie, wie heißt sie? Hyoko gesehen hat. Aber das war, glaube ich, schon an einem anderen Tag. Oder nicht? Hiko, dass er Mikan getroffen hat. Dann Mikan, also quasi, dass Ach, ich kann gerade nicht klar denken, weil ich nehme es da wieder Nacht auf. Ding. Dass sie halt beide nach Ibuki suchen, weil sie hat ja gefehlt. Ja. Sonst? Ja, wie können wir das halt dann beweisen? Was hat man noch für Beweise? Wir hatten das Movie Invitation Ticket, aber ich kann irgendwie bei bestem Willen nicht sagen, wie das ein Hinweis sein kann. Sonst? Ich muss gerade überlegen. Was war sonst? Achso, das Video. Wie kam das bitte? Warte mal, ich geh nochmal das kurz
Sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel, what about you guys? I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then...
Muss ich das abschießen? Ach
No,
so.
that's wrong.
Oh Gott, das war nicht so einfach. Stimmt, ja, klar.
Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi.
Ja.
In fact, Mikan and I both have alibis.
You two have alibis?
Oh, habe ich Glück gehabt, dass ich es richtig ausgewählt habe, sondern wenn ich für Hiko gewählt hätte, wäre das glaube ich falsch
Up
gewesen.
until I saw that hanging video, Mikan and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Ja, erinnere mich nicht dran.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime.
Zweimal.
Too much info.
Yeah, it's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterward. So we were together until right before the announcement.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was?
Huh?
Faking the time the crime occurred by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process? Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate the movie?
Are you saying there was another reason?
I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but that's how I feel. I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence.
Killer had a different reason. If that's the case, are we still in the killer's trap? Is that a trap set by one of us? If so, then whose and what kind of trap is it? Also, Pause, okay.
Hiya!
Why, hello there, mon ami. The mouse balls sure look tasty today.
Stop it!
Don't characterize me as someone who lives off mouse balls. And here's some chance time. What's that? Nada, mon ami's appeal time starts now. Appeal time? Your kind-hearted big brother's gonna give you the chance to reclaim your honor. Good luck, show those jerks who treat you like a red-headed stepchild who's boss. That's 99% your fault. While you were whining, your time's already running out, so please make your appeal simple. About 30,000 words or so. That's too long. It'll just be a boring appeal. Come on, if your appeal is successful, there might be merchandise opportunities heading your way. Then... I'm Usami, magical miracle girl, Usami. I'm an itty-bitty girl who's sweet like milk. Jeez, and I thought a certain robot's little sister was supposed to be the best.
What a disappointment!
Who are you talking about? I have no clue whatsoever.
I'm Monami. Once again, I've been put in such an unreasonable situation. Seriously, he's like the king of unreasonableness.
Why did it turn out like this? We were supposed to have a fun, friendly school trip, but it turned out all bloody instead. No! This definitely cannot be allowed. That's why I want you to remember this. Everyone, do your very best. Don't lose to yourself. And don't forget to save frequently.
The reason the killer did an imitation murder is a reason other than falsifying the murder sequence. Does something like that even exist?
Huh. It suddenly got quiet in here. Did I confuse you? If so, I wish I could die from self-loathing.
Man, this again.
If that's the case, it would have been just dandy if they had gone ahead and killed me too. If that happened, the imitation would have been perfect. So why didn't they do that?
Well, it's against the rules to kill 3 people in the first place.
That rule is too harsh. I couldn't get killed because of that.
Seriously, just shut up already! Shut up forever!
But I'm thinking about it again, and he's totally right. It feels incomplete.
Because they didn't kill 3 people like the movie did? That's only because of Monokuma's rule.
It's not just that. Come on, try to remember the content of the movie. About the lion that got killed second.
That's the one Hyoko's body was imitating, right?
Even though we're calling it an imitation, the lion was actually pinned by arrows, right? But Hyoko's body was suspended by common household duct tape.
Maybe they just used a common substitute because it was too difficult to imitate the arrows.
Well, that's probably it, but that attitude is what makes this feel incomplete. If falsifying the murder sequence was the killer's plan from the very beginning, they should have taken steps to properly imitate it.
But if we never realized it was a half-assed imitation, their entire plan would have been completely useless.
What are you trying to say? Are you saying the imitation wasn't planned?
I'm saying Hyoko's murder wasn't.
What?
Hyoko's murder wasn't planned?
I understand that imitation wasn't enough, but aren't you making a bunch of assumptions?
It's not just the poor imitation. There are also other strange details.
Strange details? Like what?
Like, for example, why did Hyoko go to the music venue?
Why did Hyoko go to the music
So,
venue?
you're saying the truth behind Hyoko's murder is hidden?
I have no freaking clue what you're trying to say.
However, this is getting quite interesting. My 4 dark devas of destruction are getting riled up.
Why Hyoko went to the music venue? If that's the key to all this, you need to find that out, no matter the cost.
Why did Hyoko go to the music venue? There's no way we'd know that!
Maybe the killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the
No.
killer.
No, maybe. She went of her own free will.
Or she was guided by the will of causality.
Nee. Hyoko went... Ja, okay. Es ist auf jeden Fall, hat was mit dem Schlüssel zu tun. Das ist, wenn dann, das erste, was Fuyuhiko gesagt hat, Summoned... Aber nein, Summoned Her kann nicht sein. Aber wer hat denn den Schlüssel mitgenommen? Under Free Will. Das müsste eigentlich dann richtig sein. Also wenn das erste oder das dritte. Also wurde nicht
Maybe the
abducted.
killer summoned her.
If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by...
No, maybe. She went of her own free will.
Ja,
I
okay.
agree with that. It's just as Sonia said. She went to the music venue of her own free will.
So, exactly as I assumed.
If no one called for her, then why did she go?
Hiyoko locked herself in her room because she was being overly cautious of the despair disease, you know? I don't think a person like that would leave their room just because someone called for them.
Ja, das stimmt.
There's no way she got abducted?
Hiyoko locked the room she was staying in before she went out.
If she was forcibly taken from her room, there's no way she would have had time to lock it.
The killer could have locked her door, right? Just to hide the fact Hiyoko got abducted.
Then they couldn't have hidden her room key that deep in her kimono. They would have put it somewhere more obvious. Otherwise, there's no point in messing with the crime scene if nobody finds the key. At the time, you were the one who actually took out the key, right? Then something like that...
I won't lose!
Och, nö.
Are you saying my gut was wrong?
Ja?
This could be my first and last highlight of the day. Why won't you just let me shine already?
No! That's not the issue.
Shut up! Enough with your fancy talk. I'll shut you up right now. Hiyoko was locked inside her room, right? She definitely got abducted or something. The killer forced their way into Hiyoko's room and forcibly abducted her. The girl is so small and weak-looking. And that's why the killer targeted her.
Ich kann nichts mehr machen.
I can't back down!
Achso. Was?
Hiyoko was locked inside her room. She definitely got abducted. The killer forced their way into Hiyoko's room and forcibly abducted her. The girl is so small and weak-looking.
Ich kann nichts mehr machen jetzt an dem Punkt.
And that's why the killer targeted her. Hiyoko was locked inside her room, right? She definitely got abducted or something.
Ach so, ich hab auch nur eine bestimmte Anzahl von Cuts.
Forcibly abducted her. The girl is so small and weak-looking. And that's why the killer targeted her.
I can't back down!
Okay.
But
Ja,
Hiyoko's
stimmt, man hat ja
room
nur
was
eine
locked.
bestimmte Anzahl von Cuts.
The key was deep inside her kimono, remember? It's more likely that Hiyoko locked the door herself.
The killer was the one who locked the door. So what if the key was in her kimono? Maybe the killer just put it there later.
There's no reason for the killer to put the key in Hiyoko's kimono. The killer probably didn't realize she even had the key.
Hold on! Try remembering Hiyoko's body. Her kimono was all messed up.
Stimmt sogar.
There's only one reason her kimono would be that messed up. She fought the killer! That's the proof she was abducted, right? My gut is totally right after all!
Es ist Sonya's account.
Hold on! Try remembering Hiyoko's body. Her kimono was all messed up. There's only one reason her kimono would be that messed up. She fought the killer!
Allow me to cut through those words! The reason Hiyoko's kimono was messed up was because she wasn't able to properly wear it.
Wear her kimono?
Yeah, it's also the reason why she decided to go out on her own.
Hiyoko seemed to be really struggling with wearing her kimono. I believe that was one of the reasons she locked herself in her room. That is why I informed her. I told her that there was a full-length mirror at the music venue, and I suggested that she use it.
Then, the reason her kimono was messed up wasn't because she fought the killer.
Yeah, she went to the venue on her own just to fix her messed up kimono.
Gut, Leute, wir sehen uns im nächsten Part weiter bei Danganronpa 2. Goodbye, Despair und ciao.